Hey Max, congratulations, another P1 start we'll call it. Pleased with your efforts out there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the track in the beginning was quite slippery in some places, and it was all about just putting the laps in and making sure that you follow the track a little bit, which I think we did. And then of course start to save your new sets to the end for Q3, and that's what we did. So yeah, very happy of course with the lap in the final shootout. I have to call it shootout, right? Yeah, shootout 3 or what is it?
Sprint shootout.
Yeah. So it's all right.
And pleased to have Checo there as well. Great team performance overall.
Yeah, I mean, of course, yesterday was a shame for the team, so it was good to have both cars up there today.
Sergio, after a challenging day yesterday, how enthused are you by this SQ3 performance?
Yeah, it was a good progress already today. We were P1 in Q1, and then conditions were drying up, and we boxed and we couldn't get the final lap in, and we were close to be knocked out already from Q1, So it's nice, to finally show what we are capable of. It was a shame only that we burned all of our new tires. I feel like we could have done a bit better in that regard, but never mind. It's nice to have a lockout in the Red Bull ring for the team.
I presume you only have one target for later on this afternoon, and what a tonic sprint win would be for you.
Yeah, it will be a good one. It will be nice to get back to the victory.
Hey Carlos, well it didn't start off all too well in qualifying, but at least you rescued something out of it, eh?
Yeah, no, it was a very stressful Q1. In these conditions, obviously not ideal to be only able to do one lap in Q1, and to put it in P1 I think was a pretty heroic lap without knowing how the track was at the time, not having no idea how much grip to find to go with only one lap in Q1 and put it there was actually a pretty good feeling. And from there, honestly, I was very quick also in Q2 and quite quick on the used tires in Q3, just due to the problem we had yesterday in Q2. Today we didn't have any new soft left, which we know around here is 3 to 4 tenths, so that's why we are P5 and not where we're fighting for the pole like we were yesterday.
You've got McLaren and a Haas in front of you, unusual positioning. Can you get up to the podium this afternoon with the pace of the car?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think we should be quicker than them in the race. I think they're just there because of the tire situation that I had in Q3. I could only run a new set of mediums and a used set of soft, which is not consistent and it's not ideal. That's why I was P5, but I'm pretty sure that in the race we can move forward.
Well, Lando, another day, another fantastic qualifying performance from you. How are you feeling after that?
Very good. One position better than yesterday, so yeah, happy to be honest. Close to second, but yeah, a bit better than yesterday. So happy with that. P3 behind the Red Bulls, so good day.
Any sense from FP1 yesterday of your long run pace and what you might be able to do in the sprint later on?
Absolutely none.
Okay, so what are you hoping for?
I don't know. I'm obviously hoping for a good race. We're hoping to score some good points. The sprint normally you'd be able to maybe hold off a bit longer than in the normal race, just because it's a shorter race. But a lot of unknowns, a lot of question marks for us still. So the pace is obviously decent, but it's always better on a one-lap pace than it is on long-run pace. So yeah, I want to be optimistic, but we'll wait and see.
Hey Charles, the pace of the car in the first two segments looked pretty good, and then it kind of didn't look like you had enough left in that final segment. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think I probably didn't do a great job in managing this Q3. I asked for a push-cool-push, where maybe a push-cool-push would have been better. One cool down wasn't enough, and my tires were still extremely hot. So then on the second lap, I just didn't have enough grip, which is a shame, really. But it's like this. Honestly, the pace haven't been great this morning in those conditions, and car was much trickier compared to yesterday, which is not great. But yeah, this afternoon there's the race, and we'll see what we can do from P6 or P7. I don't remember.
What do you think is possible this afternoon if the conditions are similar to this and you were struggling today with those cooler conditions?
Well, I hope either it's all dry or all wet, because if it's half-half like this, unfortunately there's only one line, and from there's basically nothing we can do. But again, let's see later on. If we have a good pace and that it's all dry, we can definitely come back.
Lewis, a really frustrating session. Obviously, I saw you kind of put your arms on the steering wheel at the end of the session. I couldn't quite hear what you were saying on team radio. What kind of happened out there?
Just timing. It's not right.
Frustrating frustrating because obviously it puts you in a really difficult position for later in the day.
Yeah, the sprint race doesn't really matter anyway. So today, just have some fun from the back, and it is what it is. I don't really feel any way about it, to be honest. I wish I was still out there, but yeah, not today.
Is it the kind of thing that after the session you go and chat to the team, or do you just want to put it behind you and focus later on the session ahead?
No, there's nothing really to say. Just we'll focus on our job today, and could have easily been much further up there, but I'll just have a bit of fun at the back.
Hey George, I'm a bit gutted you weren't able to do your Baku trick and kind of improve into sprint qualifying. Sorry, obviously it was a hydraulics issue, was it, that didn't let you out?
Yeah, hydraulics failure, so not too sure of the ins and outs. Real shame. The pace was looking strong. I think considering it was on the medium tyre, it was P4, P5 in Q1. No reason why we couldn't have had a good qualifying today, especially with the new set of softs we had going into Q3. I think, top 5 would have been definitely on the card. So it's just not our weekend. It's one of those things. When it rains, it pours. So we'll see what we can do this afternoon and tomorrow. And definitely try and come back stronger next week.
I know you obviously can't change the car from session to session, but did you learn a lot last night that might give you a bit of hope that maybe that might help you in the race sprint later on in the race tomorrow?
I think the sprint's going to be difficult. I think unless the track temperature really warms up, there won't really be any tyre degs, and it's probably going to be a DRS train. More optimistic for tomorrow, starting from P11, we've got a good chance to move right up the field. As I said, one of those weekends just definitely not going our way.
Oscar, sorry to see you out in SQ1. How was it out there for you?
It was good until the last lap. Pace was very good again. I think we were P1 after the first lap and in the top 5, and then opening the last lap, we had Stroll stopped right at the last corner, and just nothing I could have done. I opened the lap like probably half a second behind him, and you can never set a lap when you're that close to someone. So a real shame. We had a lot more potential than that. Our car loves these conditions. I love these conditions, and we were quick. So a shame.
Incident with Charles as well, going to be investigated after this session. What was your view of that from the cockpit?
Was there an incident with Charles?
You coming through 10.9, found Charles.
Yes, sorry. I mean, that one's a bit more tricky. He was coming into the pits. He was pretty close. I was quite close behind him before he did that, so he could have got out of the way a bit better, but ultimately that lap wasn't the lap that made the difference. So, it was annoying at the time, but ultimately I don't think it affected much.
Okay. And hopes for later on this afternoon? You're just going to keep your nose clean?
Try something different. We'll need a miracle from 17th to get into the points. So, see what we can do.
Yuki, we heard your frustration over the radio. Just tell us how it was out there, how you're feeling now.
Yeah, it is frustration. It's I don't know what to say, but we didn't have pace, so in the end, I just tried to maximize the opportunity, and lap time data is like second time, which I lost in like millimeters, so I don't know. It's frustration there, but definitely.
Any optimism for the sprint this afternoon? What can you do from your position?
I try my best to recover as much as possible. Anything can happen, so I'll do my best, for sure.
Hey Pierre, just what happened out there? It looked quite frantic, quite frustrating in that final corner.
Yeah, just everything went wrong really in the Q2, so we got stopped at the weight bridge, which in this condition cost a lot because the track is drying every lap, and it cost us a lap. And then after we had an issue, so the car could not restart, which cost us a lap as well. And then we ended up restarting behind 10 other cars and being stuck in the last corner, not able to open the lap. So it was just a very frustrating session, and not good.
What do you think you can rescue this afternoon in the sprint?
We'll do everything we can with the number of laps we got here, but we'll recover some positions.
It's kind of a track where you can overtake, right? So you might be able to scrape into the points.
Yeah, we'll find a way.
Alex, just fractions in it, didn't quite make it through. How are you feeling?
Fine. I don't know, it feels like I think every driver would say they could have got into Q3 on that run, myself included. So it's one of them ones where we definitely had the pace, but we still did a good job. So I felt like we gave it a good go. I'm really not a fan of these kind of tyre limited sessions because you're completely benefiting people who've been able to do less laps than other people, and that's either people who went out in Q1 or people who have the pace in their car to hold on to tyres. So either you benefit the unfortunate ones in Q1 or you benefit the top teams and the middle teams that we have to get everything out of it for the main race in qualifying yesterday. I'm driving around on old tyres the whole time, so yeah, it is what it is, but P11 is still a good place.
It's not far off, like you said, the points and a good place to start.
Yeah.
Tricky conditions, we don't know what the forecast is going to hold. What are you anticipating?
I kind of want it to rain because I don't think we have the top 8 obviously today to get points. So I think you've got the Mercedes, don't you? They're not they're out. So there's a chance. There is a chance for points, but I think it needs to be a little bit wet for that to happen.
Fernando, yesterday you said you would have enjoyed a bit of rain for today. Didn't really come for when you wanted it. How are you feeling after sprint shootout?
It feels good. I think to be in the top 7, top 8 with both cars is kind of a miracle because with the rules as they are at the moment, we only had old tires to do today qualifying. So I understand when it's dry, we all have to use the mediums in Q1, mediums in Q2, and then whatever you have remain in Q3. But when these conditions, obviously the regulations allowed to use any dry tires, so there is a big disadvantage for the guys that reached top 10 yesterday because we use all our sets. So yeah, not very happy with the rules, and hopefully we improve the sprint format. I think this year is just a test to improve, but obviously we are fighting for big things in the World Championship, so we should not be in this position to qualifying today with old tires if you did well yesterday going to Q3.
And as you say, you are fighting for big things. P7 for the sprint later on, that looks like prime Fernando Alonso territory to fight forward and try and maximize the points.
Yes, but as I said, we should not be qualifying with different conditions than people that didn't reach yesterday Q3. But anyway, the sprint race is later. Hopefully the same tires for everyone, and that will be more fair.
So Lance, another day, another Q3 performance, SQ3. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, it was an interesting session, mixed conditions at the start and then drying up, so always, tricky and exciting. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's, always fun driving around here. So see what happens this afternoon. Few dark clouds around, so we'll see.
Sorry, what are your weather radars telling you, and what are your hopes for the sprint?
I think it's always tough to predict here in the mountains what the weather's going to do. So just have to wait and see.
Hey, Esteban, top 10 start, but I'm getting the feeling that you thought there was a little bit more out there today.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. There was a little bit more. Obviously, it was very close, so you could have said if, in one corner I could have get there, in one corner I could have, been 50 hundredths faster and would have gained 2 positions, but that's the same for everyone in the end. And yeah, I feel like, we are not as fast as we were in the last couple of races at the moment. I think struggling a little bit more with the car in general, and we need to understand, where obviously that comes from. Still a very good, starting position for this afternoon. We are quite close to the points, and we are going to try to bring some home.
Do you think part of it is just, I know it's the same for everyone, but it's a sprint weekend, right? So you only get one practice session to prepare, and do you think that might have maybe just hurt you guys maybe a little bit more than everyone else?
Yeah, that could be. That could be a reason. Obviously, that we didn't get the car, maximum out of it, but. I don't think so. I think this track is quite special. It worked really well for us last year. We are struggling a little bit more this year. We will understand that for the future races, but at the moment we are fixed and we need to get on racing.
Kevin, good to see you made it into SQ3 today. Was that the most out of it, or do you think there was a little bit more to come?
Yeah, I think it was competitive in SQ1 and SQ2.
And then in SQ3 on the used tires, we didn't seem to be as competitive, but still good starting position for the sprint later on, and we'll see what we can do.
And if conditions are similar, do you think this is where your car's just in a slightly better window in these kind of conditions?
Seems a bit like it, yeah. But you know, even yesterday in free practice, we were quite competitive in the hot conditions as well. So just in qualifying yesterday, didn't go well for us. But yeah, we'll see if we can hang on to it in the sprint, see what we can do.
Joe, really difficult session out there. We saw you go out and you had that little half spin out there. The conditions looked tricky. Kind of just how do you feel about how it all went?
Yeah, obviously missed it by 100 or 0.01 to Charles. I think it's quite hurting this one because it's always quite tight, but then you always can find less than 100 on your lap, that's for sure. But overall it's a tricky day I think for everyone. Obviously I got surprised. I was obviously off the line on my out lap on the first thing, so I had a spin, but it didn't really distracting much afterwards. So the final run is going to be done on the last lap. So unfortunately just missed out Q2 again. So
yeah, it looks like at the moment the qualifying pace of the car is just a bit tricky and you can't struggling to get maybe the car in the right window. Is that fair?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially in general when there's a short track like this out lap, and if you get traffic which seems to be hurting or penalize us a little bit more than the others. So it's been let's say a tricky weekend in terms of just finding performance on that lap, and overall obviously having not much upgrade compared to most of the other team, which brings an upgrade that has the benefits on that, but we have to obviously keep working on it to bring the performance up.
So Nico, another fantastic performance from you. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, it was good. It was fun actually. Saturday morning straight into a quali is different, but it's a good buzz straight into the adrenaline rush. Had a good rhythm with the car. Obviously Q1, still finding out some damp patches, and then pretty much from Q2 it was dry. Q3 obviously, because I went quite far in quali yesterday, I didn't have any new softs anymore, only used. So we made the call to go on mediums, which worked out quite well actually in the end for us with P4. So pleased and happy about it.
And looking ahead to the sprint, are you looking to go forward or are you defending from behind?
I don't think we can go any more forward. Realistically, I think it's a lot of quick cars behind us. We know, the real challenge will come this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon. But we'll see what we get, then we'll fight.